first we had actually 2 days off after the Toronto game, and then we had 3 days now during the weekend, and I was here in Columbus. That's the downside when you don't have the family here. Then it's only football, and when you don't, I think you always have a tendency to work too much. But when things like it is right now for us, and like we have talked about other occasions, when we feel that things are not like running smoothly, then you think even more about those kind of situations. So I took the time to not be here all the time, but to reflect even more over the games and where we are, but mostly where we want to, which kind of direction we want to go. So it was good days.
During that reflection, what did you kind of find has been the biggest issue of the last 5 games? It's even first of all, and I hope you feel that I'm always trying to be honest, and I'm not, of course, satisfied with the things. You can divide it in result, you can divide it in how we play. There are some parts that I think we have improved. We do, as probably every team, look at the underlying numbers and compare with previous seasons. I compare a little bit with how my other teams have been looking, but we look, of course, more with Columbus Crew like last year. And defensively in the open play, we see that we improve, but it's also some parts that attacking wise that is not good enough. So it's to find that balance between which part is actually in the right direction, which part is something we need to fix right now, or can we leave that and have a little bit longer perspective on it, and how can we not get slaves under the eager to win games. I have looked a lot now also during these days. It's this I'm not into the US sporting world fully yet, but it's this basketball, the college, what do you call it? It's March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. And then the algorithm, when you look at something on YouTube, or then boom, then you get that all the time. So I get a lot of press conference with those coaches, and before games and after, and they all talk about. And I think that's interesting, because you have this picture of US like it's about winning culture, and the society looks a bit like that. But it's also a lot about like performance. It's player-driven organizations. So I like that. I mean, like I said another time here, I'm addicted to winning, and when you don't win, you get a little bit fun. It's not fun. That was the word I searched. It's not fun. But if you focus too much on that, you will get lost. So that's the balance I try to give the players, and focus on the process. What do we need to do now, and what can we do later? And so that was the first part. The clear answer is that we have worked a lot on our attacking structure. I said, I think the first time I met you here, that it's been very good for me that I could call the players, I could get a picture of like, okay, this is the mentality in the group. But then everybody knows that if you talk with someone on the phone, it's one thing. It's when you start to nag on each other, you live together every day, then you start to really get to know each other. And we are there. I actually said, I think also the first before the first game, it's been a honeymoon, and it's been a honeymoon. Now I start to get to know the player on a deeper level. And one thing that's been clear is that I've said also, we want to threaten more. We want to be a little bit defending another way. But I probably thought a little bit too. How do I say this without it sounds like criticism? But I thought maybe that the attacking part, to keep the ball, I don't need to do so much about that right now, because you have this amount of time. What do we prioritize? But yeah, I think it's obvious if you look at especially the last game, that we need to have a better structure. So that we are putting a lot of time on.
You mentioned getting to know these players now and the conversations you're having now. What were those, if there was any during the break, what were those conversations? Were you able to talk one-on-one with players, or were you just giving them their time? Just what did the communication look like between you and the players during this week and a half of games?
Yeah, I let them off the hook a little bit also. But that's another thing that strikes me when I look at other. If you look at the NFL world and the NBA world, where especially the NFL world, with high demands on the player, that they need to be able to take in information, to have meetings, to know things. Now it's two different sports, because NFL is more, without knowing in detail, but it's more, you could call it more set pieces. And then the football is 45 minutes that is going on. For example, against Toronto, we pressed in one way, but we didn't really get the right structure. So I tried to get that information out and try to communicate with Dylan, for example. But then in halftime I asked him, then he thought I was talking about an offensive thing. So it's like an ongoing 45 minutes in football, so you can't always have those set plays, but still we can have higher demands on players. But I let them off the hook a little bit. And then I think we have created a quite good structure now during the week. So the players they are involved, and I talk with them a lot, because it's at the bottom line, it's very good people. Nothing has changed there. It's amazing people and persons, and I try to help them just with. I mentioned that also we saw last year, especially last part of the season, that it was some struggles, and to help them break that. It's not me coming in and trying to fix the world, but I've been in their shoes. I've been there. Like you want to please everybody. You want to play in a way. You want to. We know we have amazing supporters. We know the support for the club and is also very big. So then you want to give them. You want to give something back. But I've been in the situation as a player also, where you feel that, and then you get stiff, and then you don't enjoy playing. So those conversations we have, it's more on that level, and then structure the attacking part.
Any particular conversation that stood out between you and one-on-one with any players?
Not that I will mention here, but I think overall that's also before when I woke up this morning, I was today I'm not going to talk so much in the press conference, but I mean it's also to find this balance where I tell them, okay, you do this. This is our play in this situation. But to find also then the balance. Okay, but you know this. You have played football your whole life. You know what to do. But if they have been told very much that this is what you do in every situation. In football, every situation is unique, so you can't really do that. But if they're used to that, I try to. Well, is the word like empower them? It sounds good, empower. I give them power. But when you get that power in the beginning, you can also feel like, should I have that? When you have countries that been having a dictator and then they get the democracy, they are like, amazing, but what? Now I have all the possibilities in the world, so now I have nothing to blame. That can be a scary thing also. So try to empower the people, the players.
And one last thing, just, is there an update on Mo Farsi and his status? I know he's been dealing with injury still.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a setback. I think actually that day when I was saying, yeah, he takes every step in the right direction, he will soon. That day, then he had a bit of a setback, but it's more adjust and then move a little bit slower forwards. But he's not training with the team yet.
Thank you.
Coach, second time you brought up your family, at least in this room. Your 5-year-old doesn't like to lose playing football.
No.
Care to share with us your family and tell us a little bit about who you've left back home?
Yeah, so it's I have an older daughter that is living on her own, and then 2 smaller kids, Sam 5 and Vilja that is 8 years old. So and then my wife. So and they will come next week and stay here 8 days at least. So that will be. So when we win against Atlanta, we can celebrate. They will come the day after, so that would be good. And then after the summer, they will join more permanently. So that is also something we look forward to.
That's great. Speaking of ages, there was a Swedish study called the relative age effect that studied how players in various sports succeed or not based on the month at which they were born in a year.
Yeah.
You have 65% of your roster right now was born in the first 4 months of the year. 40% was born in March and April. Here we are on the last day of March.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with studies like that? And in all your work with academy players, have you come to understand that there's some truth or value in that assessment, that the month in which you're born could be related to your success on the pitch?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. In Sweden, it's also when you are, they have like talent teams, then it's this tendency that it's always the boys and girls that are born January, February. In Sweden, I don't know how it is here, but they have what they call the future team. So they look for the players that are born the second half of the year, and then they make like a natural team out of them, just to make sure you don't miss anyone. I know also that Barcelona had that when they scouted players, they scouted from that. They try to really close that gap so they don't miss any players for that reason. Then I think, I mean, if you then take it into what we are doing, it's about length, it's about size, and if you're going to be, for example, good on set pieces, then you need some kind of length and size, and if you are born early or late, you know, how does that affect? Do we miss any great players because we are too eager to have the size and the strength? I always have liked at one occasion I said I can play with, like Pep Guardiola did almost with Barcelona for 15 years ago, with almost only midfielders that are very movable, but then the set plays are so important now in football. So, and that's a danger when you start to sort out players because they doesn't have the length, and then we know also when you get that stamp, maybe is the word stamp, but like you're not good because doesn't have the physique right now. What happens then? He could have been, or her could have been, very good if you give them some time. So I think it's good to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Henrik, the X, when he was here, it took time to rewire brains to play his system. Is that true in your case as well, or do you have to teach something new, and do they have to think differently before this gains any traction?
Definitely. I think that's. I mean, in one way, I didn't changed that much in the beginning. It was more me getting to know the players. I've said that a couple of times, you know. So I didn't, and also I thought it was a well-functioned team, and I also praised the work that they did here before. Then it's always this balance. When do you, okay, now it's time to change. Now it's time to add something. I mean, if we say Wilfred didn't go to Celtic, his team would be then it would be now the fourth year. He would have been he would have needed to change something, because teams react. You can look at underlying numbers, for example, from 23, 24, 25, and 23 Crew is top. One also. 24, not that. Still good, very good. 25, not that good. So how can you change that? Of course, you buy better players. I believe a lot in educating the players. But when you educate players, it takes a little bit of time. You wire them in a different way, and you can choose to not do it, but then you need to know that, okay, the squad is on that level, so we win games anyway. We have a system that works so good, so we win games anyway. And I think it was quite clear last year that we didn't have that. So that's what we're looking for. You know, the squad will look different when it comes to the summer. We have started to change system, if I call it like that, to be more flexible, because again, teams are. I haven't not been in the league before, but I see a lot of tactical flexibility from teams. They can change. We scout them. We see, okay, they play like this. Then against us, they changed. So we need to have that ability. Short term, that means that some players think maybe too much. They're not used to some things. I have my way of being, and we have more meetings. We have other demands. I try to empower them, and I know I'm just looking forward to that day when everything is like connected, and that can be tomorrow. I see it in training. I saw it before Toronto also. So it's not always what you see during the week that you see in the game then. But I see the things we want to do. I see them more and more in training. This week now has been amazing. So then you get like, you get happy, you're happy inside, and but then I know also the game with the pressure, then that can be in the way sometimes. But I'm so convinced about the way I'm working, but also the level of the group and the people we have in the organization. So it will be amazing. It's just to understand that kind of change we need to do, and the club they needed to do it anyway. It's not because of me. But they saw something in me that they also believe will help them in the long term. With that said, my son, he wants to win everything. I want to win everything. So that we will try at the same time. But we need to take some decisions that is something we can benefit from here, instead of just searching that one here.
In terms of a specific thing, does it worry you that Diego hasn't been involved enough in the offense over the past 3 games? And if so, what sort of remedies are you looking at? Yeah,
I mean, that's also one thing. I mean, I look from it from outside, and then you are here, and then you try to... I don't hide that, but I have tried to really make the most out of the attacking players, and then it's a bit fun because the last 2 games has been not good when it's come to creating scoring opportunities. But that's the thing in life. You of course, things you put in attention to, it will affect, but you don't know really when that fully will effect will blossom. So. We have then tried to have a structure with more attacking players, and then we defend more stable. So it's sometimes you don't fully understand. You do something, and then it will be this. It's probably this butterfly effect where you something here and it affects something here. But yeah, Diego knows that he is very important for me and for us. So, and he's so loyal, and he put in that work when it's come to pressing and running. And I try to find a way and position where he can make the most of those running forward and attacking wise. So sometimes it's almost, don't tell him this, but that he's too loyal. So he's running home, even if you don't need to run home there. That's for the backline, that's for the fullback, but he do it anyway. But that's the structure we try to find now, and I think we had some good trainings where we see that, okay, now he starts to, I mentioned it, Gomez has been here like 2 weeks now, and just to create a relationship centrally among players with his experience, that's something that is amazing. So I'm looking into that. He is important, and he needs to do what he's best at.
It's been, last one, Rob. It's been difficult to see what you're trying to do with this team. Do you feel that it's coming, that the time is coming when fans watching will say, okay, that's what he's trying to do, and it's effective?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I understand that, and it's not that I have been on the bench and like, yeah, mamma mia, now we are playing football. No. It's been more like, and for me, it's, again, I'm addicted to winning, but I must say we must enjoy ourselves. And I have referred to one of the first meetings I had with Issa, that he said, like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's about enjoying ourselves, the way we play. If it's one way that makes sure you win every game, of course, then you need to use that, but it isn't. Maybe to just have so much money so you buy the best players, and the league can't stop you from buying the best players, but it's not here, so it's somewhere else, and probably not even that. So, but there are some, and now it's very important that nobody thinks that I'm complaining, but I'm more like, I think it's very interesting, because again, I have looked at the team and the organization from outside, and some things have been above my expectations. But you never know the relationships between the players. You don't. It's like if you could have cameras in a team, it would be like in Sweden. Dallas was a very big TV show. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Dynasty. Yeah, it's old good times. But it's not exactly like that. You don't have JR with the drinking problems. We don't have that in the team. But you have relationships. You have things between, and I need sometimes to just fix those things before I can even, okay, we're gonna play in a certain way. You try to have two things going on at the same time: the football part, but it's also to create the dynamic in the team and the connection and. That is sometimes you spend more time with that as a coach than dealing with the things on the pitch. But if we don't take care of those things, and I don't mean that it's a lot of problems, but it's like when people come together and try to work together. What's the common way? What's the way forward? What's the playing style? What do we need to do right now? And we have also a staff that is also new, where how can we get the most out of everyone in the staff? So I would say it's quite natural. I'm very irritated when we don't win, and especially when we don't play the way we do. But again, I see it on the training pitch. So for me, it's more, come on, now we're going to show it in the games. And I understand that it will not be for 90 minutes, but we need to show it for 10 minutes, 50 minutes. And still, I think Kansas second half was more the game where we maybe showed a little bit the kind of crew I think we can show more of. But otherwise, no, it's not been at all that. So, and that's, of course, on me.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks for the therapy.
Where have you gone, Charlene Tilton?